If you're over 60, every bite you take, every snack, every little treat has a direct impact on your heart. What you eat isn't just about calories or cravings anymore. It's about whether your heart gets stronger or slowly wears down. And what if I told you that there's one group of foods many seniors eat every day, believing they're healthy, that's actually silently damaging your heart? As a heart doctor, I've seen it far too often. Seniors come into my clinic thinking they're eating clean, avoiding chips, fast food, and sugar. But then we look at what they snack on, and hidden inside are certain types of nuts that are quietly fueling inflammation, raising blood pressure, and clogging arteries over time. The problem isn't just what you're eating, it's what you think is healthy but isn't. And in this video, I'm begging seniors to stop eating these 7 specific kinds of nuts. I'll explain why they're harmful and what safer, smarter alternatives you can turn to instead. These are habits I see every single day in my older patients, and they're completely fixable. So please stay with me until the end. The first one may already be in your kitchen right now. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Honey roasted peanuts. They sit quietly in a bowl on your coffee table. Golden, sweet, familiar. Honey roasted peanuts have become a trusted companion for many seniors. They seem harmless. In fact, they feel comforting, nostalgic even. You might reach for them during your favorite show or while waiting for your next meal. But what if I told you that behind their friendly crunch is a cocktail of ingredients slowly and silently damaging your heart? As a heart surgeon, I've seen what most never get to see: the inside of arteries, the thickened walls, the sticky plaque that builds up over time. Many of my patients swear they eat healthy, and when I ask about snacks, they proudly say, just a few peanuts. But these are not just peanuts. They are coated in refined sugar, salt, and often hydrogenated oils that do one thing consistently: inflame. They spike your blood sugar, raise your blood pressure, and leave behind residues that your heart must fight against every single day. For seniors, this is especially dangerous. After 60, your body doesn't process sugar and salt the way it once did. Your blood vessels are more sensitive, your metabolism slower, and your heart less forgiving. That innocent handful, repeated daily, becomes a slow drip of damage. Over time, it contributes to insulin resistance, high LDL cholesterol, and a quiet narrowing of the arteries that sets the stage for stroke or heart attack. What's even more concerning is how easily this habit is overlooked. Honey roasted peanuts masquerade as better choices compared to cookies or chips, but in truth, they belong in the same category of processed inflammatory foods that every heart-conscious senior should avoid. If you love peanuts, the solution is simple but powerful. Switch to dry roasted, unsalted peanuts. No coatings, no surprises. It's a small change, but one that could protect your heart for years to come. But the danger doesn't stop there. There's another nut, common, even trendy, that's doing more harm than good, especially when combined with another everyday mistake. Let's talk about it next. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Salted mixed nuts. They come in shiny tins and resealable bags, often labeled heart healthy or smart snacking. Salted mixed nuts are one of the most misleading foods that seniors trust without a second thought. Almonds, cashews, pistachios, all tossed together and coated in just the right amount of salt to make them addictive. They're convenient, they seem wholesome, and they taste familiar. But inside every handful is a hidden danger that your heart simply cannot afford to ignore. As a heart surgeon, I can't count the number of times I've heard this sentence from my older patients. But I only snack on nuts, doctor, nothing fried, no chips. And yet, their blood pressure is sky high, their arteries inflamed, and their risk of cardiac events rising silently. The culprit? Sodium, in amounts that seem small in one bite, but add up drastically over time. After age 60, your body's sensitivity to salt increases significantly. The same pinch that your younger self might have tolerated with ease now lingers in your bloodstream, causing your body to retain water, pressurizing your arteries, and forcing your heart to work harder than it should. And when that extra strain becomes chronic, the heart muscle starts to thicken, the vessels stiffen, and the silent march toward hypertension and heart failure begins. Salted mixed nuts are particularly dangerous because they're mindless. We snack on them during phone calls, TV shows, or in between meals. Rarely do we measure, pause, or even notice how much we've eaten. But that handful, it may contain more sodium than your heart needs for the entire day. It's not just the salt, it's the habit, repeated daily, that quietly builds risk. If you love mixed nuts, you don't have to give them up, but make the switch to raw or dry roasted, unsalted versions. Then season them yourself with herbs or a dash of cinnamon, not with the salt shaker. But while salt may be a quiet attacker, the next nut is even more deceptive because it's wrapped in something sweet, creamy, and deeply comforting. Yet what it does to your arteries is anything but kind. Let's uncover the truth next. 3. Chocolate-covered nuts. They feel like the perfect compromise between indulgence and health. Nuts wrapped in silky, sweet chocolate. It's easy to believe that you're making a smart choice. After all, nuts have protein and fiber, right? And chocolate has antioxidants. So how bad could it be? The truth is, this combination is one of the most deceptive threats to your heart, especially after the age of 60. Chocolate-covered nuts are often the go-to snack for seniors trying to satisfy sweet cravings without going overboard. But I've seen the reality behind that small treat. One handful delivers a heavy dose of added sugars, processed fats, and refined oils, ingredients your aging heart cannot afford. These sugars spike insulin levels, thicken your blood, and trigger the kind of chronic inflammation that leads directly to artery damage. What makes this even more dangerous is the emotional attachment. Chocolate-covered nuts are often tied to comfort memories or rituals. An afternoon treat, a gift from a friend, a way to unwind. But inside your body, the cost is quiet and brutal. The sugar rush stresses your pancreas. The saturated fats line your arteries. The calorie density adds inches around your waist. Visceral fat that increases heart attack risk significantly in seniors. It's not that chocolate is always the villain, but when it's wrapped around a nut, sold as a healthy indulgence, and eaten regularly, it becomes a slow, sweet poison for your cardiovascular system. If you truly enjoy chocolate, choose a square of dark chocolate, over 70% cocoa, and pair it with a few raw almonds. That's real satisfaction without betrayal. But there's a more dangerous combination hiding in your pantry right now, one that's marketed as energy boosting, but loaded with sugar, salt, and oils. And the worst part? You may be eating it thinking it's helping your heart. Let's uncover that next. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Packaged trail mix with candies or dried fruit. At first glance, it looks like the perfect snack, a cheerful mix of nuts, dried fruit, and maybe a few colorful bits of chocolate. The packaging says things like energy boost, natural fuel, or perfect for on the go. And for many older adults trying to snack smarter, trail mix seems like a harmless, even wise choice. But behind the vibrant packaging and health claims is a blend of ingredients that may be doing far more harm than good, especially to your heart. Most packaged trail mixes are not what they appear to be. They're loaded with sugar drenched raisins, candied fruit, yogurt covered pieces, salted nuts, and candy coated chocolate bits. Each of these components, on their own, can spike blood sugar or blood pressure. Together, they form a dangerous cocktail of refined sugar, excess sodium, and unhealthy fats. And worse, it's all packed into a small bag marketed as healthy. As a heart doctor, I've reviewed the lab results of countless seniors who eat trail mix regularly. Many are shocked when I tell them their so-called healthy snack is raising their triglycerides, pushing up their blood sugar, and inflaming their arteries from the inside out. The dried fruits used in most commercial trail mixes aren't naturally dried. They're preserved with sugar syrups and oils. Add salted nuts and artificial ingredients, and what you're really eating is closer to candy than nourishment. The heart suffers quietly. It feels the weight of those choices even when you don't. And for people over 60 whose metabolism slows and whose blood vessels are more fragile, every bite carries more consequence. If you love trail mix, consider building your own. Raw almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and a few unsweetened dried berries. This version supports your heart, not sabotages it. But flavor is seductive, and the food industry knows this. What if the next danger is hiding behind flavor itself? Bold, exciting flavors that seem fun but leave your heart inflamed and your health compromised? Let's explore that next. 5. Flavored almonds, BBQ, ranch, wasabi. They sound exciting. BBQ, ranch, wasabi, sriracha. These flavors promise variety, fun, and a little kick that makes snacking feel less like a routine and more like a treat. For many older adults trying to eat better, flavored almonds appear to offer the best of both worlds, a healthy nut with a tasty twist. But beneath the bold flavors lies a harsh reality your heart can't ignore. These flavored almonds are usually coated in artificial seasonings, high levels of sodium, monosodium glutamate, MSG, sugar, and chemical preservatives, a toxic blend that can quietly inflame your cardiovascular system over time. While the almond itself has heart-healthy fats, the coatings turn it into something else entirely, a processed food disguised as a natural snack. For seniors, this is especially risky. Your body no longer filters toxins and salt as efficiently as it once did. Every bite of these highly flavored nuts sends a wave of excitotoxins and sodium into your bloodstream, constricting your arteries and increasing blood pressure. What started as a healthier snack becomes a slow erosion of your heart's resilience. What concerns me most as a heart doctor is how easily these foods blend into daily habits. A few almonds here, a handful there, during a movie, on a walk, or while reading the paper. And with flavors designed to keep you reaching for more, it's easy to consume far more than your heart can handle. If you enjoy almonds, and you should for their natural heart benefits, keep them simple. Raw or dry roasted, unsalted, maybe tossed with turmeric or cinnamon at home. Real food doesn't need artificial flavor to be satisfying, but not all nuts are about what's added on the outside. Some are harmful simply because of what's already inside, a creamy texture and rich flavor that can quietly overload your heart with fat. And most people don't realize just how much is too much. Let's talk about that next. 6. Cashews in excess. They're creamy, rich, and deeply satisfying. Cashews have a unique texture that makes them feel more like a luxury than a snack. It's easy to love them, and for many seniors, they've become a daily habit, A handful here, a few more after lunch, maybe a few at night while reading or relaxing. They don't seem harmful. In fact, cashews are often labeled as heart healthy. But the truth is more complicated, and for aging hearts, more dangerous than most people realize. Cashews are naturally high in saturated fat, more so than many other commonly eaten nuts. That fat, when eaten in moderation, may not pose a threat, but moderation is often misunderstood. A true serving size is just a small handful, about 1 ounce. Yet most people eat 2 or 3 times that without noticing, especially when snacking straight from the container. And with age, our metabolism slows, our arteries stiffen, and the margin for error becomes dangerously small. What concerns me most is how cashews can give a false sense of wellness. They're not fried, not sweet, not salty, and so we think they're fine. But overconsumption leads to a rise in LDL cholesterol, weight gain around the midsection, and an increased burden on the heart muscle. I've treated seniors who did everything else right, but their excessive nut intake, particularly cashews, tipped the scale toward heart risk. The key isn't fear, it's awareness. Cashews aren't inherently bad, but they demand portion control and balance. If you enjoy them, treat them as you would dessert. An occasional pleasure, not a daily staple. Rotate them with lighter, fiber-rich nuts like almonds or walnuts, and your heart will stay stronger for longer. Still, the greatest danger may not be in the nut itself, but in how it's prepared. What if I told you that even the healthiest nuts can become harmful when cooked in the wrong kind of oil? The next one on our list might be in your kitchen right now, and it's silently undoing everything you're trying to protect. Let's take a closer look. 7. Any nut cooked in vegetable oil, soybean, corn, canola. You've probably seen them on store shelves: roasted almonds, cashews, pecans, and peanuts. They look wholesome, familiar, and often even come with labels like lightly salted or roasted to perfection. But there's something hidden in the fine print, often overlooked yet deeply harmful: the type of oil used in the roasting process. Most packaged nuts today are cooked in refined vegetable oils: soybean, corn, canola. These oils are cheap, mass-produced, and packed with omega-6 fatty acids, which in high amounts fuel chronic inflammation inside your body. For a senior's heart, already more vulnerable with age, this inflammation can silently accelerate the buildup of plaque in your arteries, contribute to high blood pressure, and trigger heart rhythm issues without warning. What makes this so dangerous is that these oils are invisible. You can't see them, you can't taste them, but they coat every nut, turning something once nutritious into something your heart has to fight against. I've cared for patients who cut sugar, avoided fried foods, exercised regularly, yet their inflammation markers stayed high. When we looked closer, the source was their daily handful of healthy roasted nuts, unknowingly soaked in inflammatory oils. At this stage in life, your heart needs purity, not shortcuts. Every food you eat either calms inflammation or fuels it. And even a food as natural as a nut can become destructive if it's processed the wrong way. That's why reading labels isn't optional anymore. It's vital. If the label says roasted in vegetable oil, it's time to put it back on the shelf. But this doesn't mean you have to give up nuts altogether. In fact, the right kinds of nuts, prepared the right way, can be some of the most powerful allies in protecting your heart. So what should you do instead? Let's talk about the smarter, safer ways to enjoy nuts that truly nourish you from the inside out. 8. What should you do instead? It's easy to feel overwhelmed. After all, nuts have long been considered one of the healthiest snacks around. So how can something so small, so natural, carry so much risk? The truth is, it's not the nut that's the problem. It's the way we process, prepare, and consume it. And the good news is, you don't have to give up nuts entirely to protect your heart. You simply need to become more intentional, more thoughtful about how you choose and enjoy them. Start with this. Go back to the basics. Raw, unsalted nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans offer real nourishment. They're rich in fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, and magnesium, all of which support blood pressure, reduce inflammation, and strengthen your arteries. These nutrients weren't engineered in a lab, they were placed in nature, as they are, for your benefit. The closer your food is to its natural form, the more your heart will recognize it as healing, not harmful. If you prefer a little roast or crunch, choose dry roasted nuts, not oil roasted. Better yet, roast them yourself at home using a low oven and a sprinkle of turmeric, cinnamon, or rosemary. 3. These spices don't just add flavor, they support heart health in their own right. And always measure your portions. A handful is plenty. More than that, especially daily, begins to shift from nourishment to overload. Be especially cautious of packaging. If the label includes added sugar, artificial flavors, or seed oils, put it back. Your heart is worth the extra moment it takes to read an ingredient list. And when in doubt, simplicity is safety. One ingredient, just the nut, is often the best choice. Also, consider how and when you eat nuts. Pair them with fresh fruit for better blood sugar balance. Eat them mindfully, not in front of the TV or while distracted, but as part of a planned snack or meal. When you give your food your attention, your body responds with better digestion, better metabolism, and less stress on your cardiovascular system. You have more power than you think. With just a few small, deliberate changes, you can shift from snacks that slowly wear down your heart to foods that strengthen it with every bite. And perhaps more importantly, you give yourself back a sense of trust in what you eat and in your ability to care for your body at any age. But before we close, let me leave you with something even more important than food, something that goes far beyond your plate and reaches deep into how you live, how you love, and how long your heart will keep beating strong. Let's talk about that next. Your heart, your legacy. By the time you reach your 60s, your heart has beaten more than 2 billion times. It has carried you through every joy and heartbreak, every long walk and sleepless night, every moment of laughter and loss. And yet, it has asked for so little in return, just your care, your awareness, and your willingness to listen when it begins to whisper instead of shout. The choices you make now, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, have more weight than ever before. Your body doesn't rebound like it once did. The damage from processed foods, hidden sugars, excess salt, and artificial ingredients doesn't disappear overnight. It lingers, slowly shaping the future of your health. But here's the truth that too few people will tell you. It's never too late to change course. Your heart is still capable of healing. Your arteries can soften. Your blood pressure can lower. Your energy can return. You can feel younger, stronger, and more alive, not through medication alone, but through conscious daily decisions that honor the life you've lived and the life still ahead of you. When you choose the right foods, simple, whole, and honest, you're not just eating differently, you're living differently. You're refusing to let habit or convenience dictate your future. You're telling your body, I'm still here. I still care. And more than that, you're sending a message to those who love you, to your children, your grandchildren, your friends. You're showing them that health isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being aware, and being willing to change when it matters most. You become a living example of resilience, of wisdom, and of quiet strength. So as you move forward from here, don't think in terms of restriction. Think in terms of protection. You're not giving up the foods you love. You're trading what is harmful for what is healing. You're not losing comfort. You're gaining clarity. You're not sacrificing. You're investing in the most valuable asset you've ever had: time. Time with those you love. Time without pain. Time with a strong, steady heart. And that is a legacy worth building. Your next meal, your next snack, your next choice, it matters. And your heart, it's still listening. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.